This is Off 63rd with Gerard McClendon. Hey, hit me up on the phone lines at 773-487-3630. That's 773-487-3630. The day of reckoning and victory is April 5th. Pavement-pounding candidates will try to sway voters in several aldermanic races. Tonight, we have the challengers from three. As a challenger in 2007 and 2011, getting 22% of the vote, claiming to be a dedicated servant to the 16th Ward, Mr. Hal. Thanks for coming to Off 63rd, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Hey, let's have a free-flowing discussion. Let's start out by asking you this question. The incumbents did not get 50% of the vote plus one, which means they're in a runoff with the three of you gentlemen. I want to move to Hal Baskin in your ward. You know, you would think that an incumbent could get 50%. What happened?
Well, we got crime and violence how it is in the 16th Ward. When you got the lack of job and job opportunities in the community, close to 60% of those people said, no, enough is enough. That's it. Most of them that came out proved that on election day, that 57% of the population in the 16th Ward said enough is enough, and we don't want enough. Because crime and violence is something that everybody faces, not only in the city of Chicago, but across this country, across this planet. And people are sick of it. They're sick and tired of it, and they want to see some new resolve.
This is, the three of you are talking about progression, you know, a progressive state of your wards. Hal Baskin.
Just let me say this. You have to have a plan and a program when you go in. If you don't have a plan, I don't care if it takes you 20 years, nothing's going to happen. When you're talking about a high rate of unemployment in the 16th Ward, you're not talking about bringing no new development in. You're not talking about bringing in job creation in. Then you can be 40 years there and still end up the same situation. You end up with a runoff, you end up with anything else. But the reality of it is that if you have people that are sit on the seat and the mayor tells them to jump and they ask how high, then we have a problem with that. You know, if you got to go in there and be a representative of the people. You're talking about high crime rate. Well, we don't have a lot of after-school programs.
Yeah.
You know, to keep those kids off the street doing something positive and productive. We don't have a lot of jobs to keep those kids off the street and have them positive and productive. And when you block persons like Walmart from coming into community to create jobs, then what happens then, those 400 permanent jobs that come to the community go down the way line. Now, my opponent is saying now, I'm for Walmart. Which is it? You're flipping and flopping. Now you're for Walmart. Before you was against Walmart. Come on.
Oh, man, Mr. Baskin is on fire. Che Ryan Fest Smith is in the mix. I've got Roderick Sawyer in the mix. And you know what? The phone lines are 487-3630. You can also listen to us on the radio at 89.3 FM. Also, www.wkkc.fm. on the web. Let me go to Yvette on the phone. I'm coming back to you two gentlemen. Let me go to Yvette. Yvette, thanks for calling Off 63rd. Yvette, what's on your mind this evening? Yvette, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Gerard?
Excellent. Talk to me.
All right, this question is for Hal Baskin.
Yes.
At the very present time, you have people that are clearly representing you, who are threatening people to vote for you. Is this the type of leadership and control you would use to run the 16th Ward if you were elected?
Thank you.
I have an organization called the 16th Ward Political Task Force. It's been registered people to vote in the Deputy Registers Program since 1984 under Harold Washington. And we will continue to knock on each and every door to get everybody registered that we possibly can. Those people who choose not to get registered by a deputy register, they can go downtown or they can go to any public library. But I choose to bring that service to the doors of the people, knock on each and every door and give them an opportunity to become registered voters and become a part of the process.
Hal Baskin, knocking on doors?
I have walked the ward 5 times. We have knocked on each and every door. I was just out today knocking on doors in the New City area. I will continue to knock on doors because those robocalls, those comments are sitting out. People are getting tired of them. They want to see some flesh. They don't want to see special interests spending a lot of money on literature and robocalls. They want to see you in the flesh. They haven't seen you in 3.5 years. Now all of a sudden, you're sending all this literature. Somebody vote for me and I'll set you free. That's not going to happen. You got to knock on doors. You got to test some flesh. You got to talk to the people. They got to know that you're real.
There's nothing wrong if the robocalls are taking place, though. There's nothing wrong with a robocall. It just means that the candidate has money to get robocalls in the mix.
It's not nothing wrong with the robocalls. The robocalls was used during the snow blizzard to let people know that this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is what you need to do. There's nothing wrong with robocalls.
Especially when they knew 4 days before the storm.
Absolutely. So there's right. There's nothing wrong with robocalls. They're used for the. I totally agree. But on those parking meters, My alderman happened to voted for that parking meter deal. And there wasn't no parking meter deal for us, no lease, because if you lease anything for 75 years, who's going to be around 75 years from now? They sold that. You don't sell off your assets. I mean, when you get constant money coming in. Sawyer was right in terms of managing it right. The city could have managed it itself. It didn't have so much thievery in that department. As you notice, they had a lot of problems with that some 20 years ago, with them stealing money from the parking meters from the beginning and get a management service. Now, all of a sudden, you're selling off your assets. If the city had managed that right, we'd have still had assets, money.
Will we have a strong mayor, weak council? Rahm Emanuel's in town now, and it's high noon. Or will we have a stronger council? Talk to me.
Yeah,
Hal Baskin.
let me tell you this here. First of all, you got a terrible council at this moment. So I'm saying, well, black aldermen, we're talking about black aldermen, to do what? To do what in their communities? They go along to get along. So, I mean, if you go along to get along, you can't change anything in that vein. Yeah, you're going to have a stronger aldermanic contingency when people like myself are elected to that office, because I believe in a strong council, weak mayor. The mayor don't activate legislation, the city council does. The city council derives its power from Springfield and the Constitution of the state of Illinois. And so people got to understand those type of dynamics, to understand why you send an alderman down there, not to go along to get along, but to bring back your fair share.
63rd here on WYCC TV 20. I've got three august gentlemen with me, Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Baskin, and Mr. Smith. Rahm Emanuel, he's laying his platform out. He's got this amazing website up saying, hey, if you got the skills, send your resume in Word doc format or PDF. I mean, is he doing the right thing here? That's the first question. Second question, will you go for Rahm Emanuel's endorsement? Is he doing the right thing with the website, and will you go for his endorsement?
If he's reaching out for those innovative ideas in terms of using the internet and other social networking, I can agree with that. But in terms of, will I reach out to him? Will I accept the endorsement? All I want is an endorsement of the people, because the people have to elect you to go out there in order to fight some battles. As you know, the last mayor appointed 33 city council members.
Ouch.
So that means that they couldn't say no to him if they wanted to. And I don't want that same thing happening to our people to get shortchanged. See, and I'm sick and tired of people like most of the aldermen saying, what do they do with our tax dollars? Our tax dollars pay for everything from streets, curbs and gutters, tree trimming, policemen, firemen, and the rest of it. And every time you see a piece of legal literature, this is what they say. Well, I got this for you. My tax dollars paid for that, and I saw my tax bill recently, and I don't say Alderman such and such and so-and-so paid this for me.
Yeah, sometimes.
The taxpayers pay that, and they get it confused. The citizens get it confused. We got to educate the citizenry, let them know that their tax dollars pay for that. They're entitled to that. No one gives that to them.
Yeah.
So if the mayor, I'm saying, if he's a weak mayor and we have a strong city council, we can do the things we need to do. A mayor don't produce legislation in the city council, but the city councilmen do. And we got to educate our people so they understand those type of dynamics.
But
the mayor can push forward some of the legislation and try to round up some of the aldermen to get the votes, the 26 votes.
Okay, we're going to see, we're going to see about this, because Daley was wielding a very sharp and very big sword when it came to that council, Baskin. Concerns, you got to make it quick.
Crimes, and jobs.
What are you going to do about it?
First of all, you got to have a relationship with the three commanders in the three districts, 7, 8, and 9, in order to fashion a plan that you can work collectively with them and people in the community. In terms of jobs you're talking about, they want to bring 30 Walmarts into the city of Chicago. If you calculate that up about $8 million, I mean, that's $160 million of new tax revenue comes into Chicago. If you use the 255,000 light poles in the city of Chicago and take 150,000 of them and put banners over there and lease that banner space, guess what? It'll generate from $120 million to $360 million.
Thanks for being on Off 63rd. Where does the time go? I need to say thanks to my guests, Roderick Sawyer, Hal Baskin, and Che Smith.